what I heard is my guest is ready to come. My guest is ready to come on, but I want to give you a little background on Phil. Phil Zamloot, and I hope Phil, you will correct me when you come on if I'm mispronouncing your name. But Phil and I met, I don't know, back in the in Trump's first administration. He was nice enough to host a corporate outing there, and I got to sit next to him. And this was at the time everyone was killing Trump, that he's a Russian spy. He's just a terrible human being. And sitting next to Phil, not only does Trump own the club, but Phil he's a member there. He golfs there. That's where he goes to get away that's where he goes to get away on weekends. That's his second home, like Mar-a-Lago in Florida. But not only does he live there, he is a member among the other members, and obviously everyone knows that he loves golf. But let's bring on Phil, and we're going to talk about golf. We're going to talk about Trump and what's it like being a member with him. Phil, are you with me?
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Oh, it's great to have you. I don't even know if you remember me sitting next to you at that dinner that night, but I never forgot you. And I see you on social media, and you make some great posts for your company, Metro Exhibits. But it's not all just about your business. It's about your thoughts of the day and what's going on in the world. So I really like it. So listen, you belong to a great club. It's a beautiful place to golf. Why don't you tell the audience what you like about the course?
So, first off, thanks. And Tom, I do remember you. I do remember at that outing. I think that was Trump's first. It was his first stint as president. I remember talking. I enjoyed our conversation. But being a member, I joined his golf club in 2016, about a month before he became president. And I live in New Jersey, so when I heard one of my neighbors was a member there, and he invited me to play there one day. And I just thought because it was a Trump golf course, a lot of very wealthy people, little stuffy. I said, I'll go play, but I wasn't too excited about it. I thought I would be going to a real stuffy place.
Yeah.
I go there, and I was sitting on the outdoor patio where I was talking to you, and I looked over at the putting green. I saw guys in jeans, guys in flip-flops, people on their cell phones. It's unlike any other golf club. I'm not even calling it a country club, because most country clubs are stuffy. You got to follow the rules. This place is basically whatever Trump does, you're allowed to do. And he's a cowboy. He does whatever he wants. So it's a great place. The people are great. The staff is great. The members. To me, it's the greatest place in the world.
So he sets the culture for the club.
Yes, he sets the culture. And I'll give you an example. You go to any other country club, especially here in North Jersey, there's a greens committee, there's a handicap committee. If you get caught peeing on a tree, you get a letter.
Right.
At the Trump golf course, there's no committees. It's basically Trump sets the culture, and it's the best. It's the great. Anybody who I bring there can't wait to come back, and they say it's one of the greatest golf courses they've ever been to.
You know what? And I'm in that golf club thing, and it is a beautiful, you're describing like the culture, but the place itself, and I've been there twice, it's a beautiful golf club. Like, it's a gorgeous golf club, everything. It's really sweet. But here's something that you told me that night, which I found, and this is when we're getting inundated with this Trump is the most evil human being in the world. This is in 2017. And it was coming from both sides. It was coming from the Republican elite, a lot of the guys in the country club and the corporate world. And then it was coming from the left, obviously. And Phil, like me and you are both kind of entrepreneur guys, not corporate guys. So the way you described that in the beginning, I get you. You're very successful. As a matter of fact, he makes all his exhibits in the United States for corporations. He makes the exhibits, your trade show exhibits, in the U.S., which is a great plus, because I'm sure a lot of your competitors are bringing in the garbage from China or whatever. But we sat there that night, and you were telling me on Saturday night when Trump was in town that after dinner, not the adults, that after dinner, on whatever Saturday night he was in town with Melania, he would be up in the front. He'd be having dinner with the rest of the people who were members there, and he would allow all the children to come up, the children of the members of the club, to come up, shake his hand, or say hi to him. Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And in fact, I have a video of one of my younger son going up to him when the Prince of Saudi Arabia was there. But yes, he has dinner. When dinner's over, the general manager and all the managers tell him who's there, and based on if it's somebody's birthday, if back then if a little kid went up to him, he would say no to anyone. It's a little different now though with security.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that hate him now, so they got to be a little more careful, the Secret Service. But
Yep.
back then, anybody went up to him. I have rarely seen the guy turn down a picture. If somebody wants it, he could be on his way out. He could be on his way to the helicopter to go back to the White House. No, nobody sees that side. Nobody sees the human side of Donald Trump. Like I posted something, Tom, about 3 weeks ago about I was just in the locker room after playing golf, and Trump was eating lunch after he played golf, and a bunch of little kids. He had to have 25 people go up to him after he ate lunch. He's signing hats, signing whatever, and all I said was, "This is the side of Donald Trump you don't see." I posted it on Instagram. I got a decent following.
Oh, you
and
do.
the comments are ludicrous. I am now labeled as a racist, a pedophile, and a cult member, and I don't even know where. And the video. There's no white people in the video. It's so disgusting how the left thinks and what they think. It's
know.
disgusting.
Yeah, and like here you are. I'm thinking that you started your own business at some time.
Yeah.
You built it up. You've done well enough that you can belong to a club like that. You hire a lot of people. You treat them well, but you're the worst guy in the world, right?
They see this word and it just sets them off. I
know.
don't know if you can see my hat. I have Trump on my hat, but it's really the left is just they're out of touch. I like you said, I started my business in 2008. I have about 100 employees, 3 facilities, but.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few business owners who I'm out there on LinkedIn and social media talking about my support of Trump. Listen, that's what I believe in. You should never talk politics, but I got to tell you, during the pandemic, we almost went out of business because we're in the live event space.
Absolutely.
And thanks to the PPP loans, we stayed in business. I belong to his club. I play a lot of golf with him because Lawrence Taylor and O.J. Anderson, former New York Giants, work for my company.
I want to get into Lawrence in a little bit, but you just brought something up, and I wanted to ask you this. Have you played around the golf with the president?
I've played about 10 rounds with the president.
So here's a self-made guy on the radio that you're listening to right now who's built the business, and Donald Trump, I remember Obama, he played with the same 3 guys that he grew up with. He never played with anyone except the same 3 guys. So talking about here you are as a member of his club. He's active in the club, and you get to play with him 10 times. Let me ask you a quick couple of questions. How good of a golfer is he?
He's a very good guy. He's 79 years old.
Yeah.
Hits the ball down the middle. His short game. If I had to guess, he's probably a 6 handicap.
Yeah.
For a 79-year-old guy, he's consistently in the mid to high 70s. Whenever I played with him, he was in the mid to high 70s. And Lawrence Taylor and Otis Anderson, they can't believe for a guy his age and what he goes through on an everyday basis. His energy level is crazy.
I know.
But
He's
a very good golfer.
Okay.
Very good golfer.
A very good golfer asked me before I came on the show, and he's a good friend of mine. He wanted to ask you this question. How far does he drive the ball at 79?
How far? I would say 245 to 265.
That's unbelievable.
Isn't that unbelievable?
That is really unbelievable at 79. I think he was like a 3 handicap, and now at 79, he's a 6 or a 7. And I think, here's something. Democrats love to say this. There's a guy named Rick Riley. I don't know if you've ever heard this story, and I'm sure you didn't read his book. This guy is a Democrat lefty sports writer. A lot of sports writers come from the left. I don't know why. It's just the way they are in sports. And it's a weird thing. Maybe because they can't play the game. I don't know. Like jock sniffers on the left. But this guy, Rick Riley, said, Trump cheats in golf. But here's the reason he knows that is because he played with Trump once. And first of all, it depends what you're competing in. Some guys, if you're just out knocking around, working on your game, you might like lift up the ball. Like not every time you go out there, you're looking to score yourself perfectly. Sometimes you're taking a mulligan or whatever. I find that a guy that, because working, golf is a complicated, frustrating game. This guy is a great golfer, right? So for anyone, yeah, go ahead, Phil.
Great golfer, but I can tell you this: maybe Rick Riley is talking about maybe they give him a 2 or 3 foot putt once in a while, but it's not like they're not moving the ball. I didn't see any of it, so Rick Riley sounds like one of those angry libs.
Yes, that's what I would think. The bottom line is anyone who golfs and sees Trump on these videos hitting the ball, now you've seen it live, you're like, that guy can play. He doesn't need to cheat.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yes, unbelievable.
You must.
And also,
yeah.
Tom, also, when you play golf with him, listen, how I describe Donald Trump, everybody knows what a great salesperson, the best salesman I know. You play golf with him for the first time, I feel like I knew him for 20 years. The first time I played golf with him, and I don't know if your viewers could see me, but it was me, Lawrence Taylor, Otis Anderson, and Trump, and he loves Lawrence Taylor. So by the third hole, he comes up to me, and he calls me member. And he says, so member, what do you do? This is right in the middle of the pandemic. He says, member, what do you do for a living? I said, we build trade show exhibits. He said, oh, you had a rough year. I said, yeah, if it wasn't for the PPP loan, I would have been out of business. He looks at me and says, you're welcome. And he walked away.
That's great. Listen, that's how unlike a lot of presidents and powerful people, he gets to talk to real people every day because that's his nature. He's from Queens. He's a builder. I used to say he talks the way he talks because he didn't build his empire in Silicon Valley. He didn't build it on Wall Street with a bunch of MBAs. He built it with, construction people, sheetrocker, maids, car valets. He speaks their language. That's a whole different world. So when the elites lost their mind about this guy being president, basically about what he tweeted or what he said, I'm like, this is how this guy lives. This is the people that made him a billionaire were normal working people. And the fact that he gets to talk to an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur, not some guy in Silicon Valley, but a guy who's employing people in New Jersey, creating jobs. He gets to talk to you out on the golf course about the PPP loans. That's good information for a president that he gets the opportunity to do this. Now, this must have really. Were you watching did you watch the debate this year? I'm sure you did. You had to watch the disaster with Joe Biden.
I watched. Yeah, it was a disaster. I watched it, yeah.
What about Joe Biden? And and believe me, you must have, because you've played with the guy, you've seen him play. When Joe Biden says, I'm a 6 handicap, your head must have exploded.
He said, you're no 6. I've seen you play, John. And that was the funniest part of the debate.
Yeah, that Joe was a 6 hand, but then what he did, and no one forgets their handicap. You know what your handicap is. Then Joe goes, "Oh no, it's an 8." And this is a little background on because I actually looked it up before you came on the show. Biden was a casual golfer. So anyone listening, if he was a 6 or 8 handicap, he would have been in the high 70s and low 80s. Okay?
Exactly.
I've been playing golf for 20-something years, and I'm not a very good golfer. I don't touch those numbers. Okay?
Yeah.
But Biden had only played like 20 rounds in 5 years. So, that guy, you know what? That night, anything, I don't want to even go revisit it, but Joe Biden was never a 6 or 8 handicap. Donald Trump could have beat him with his eyes closed on a golf course. I don't even know why he went down that road to say that.
As we found out, Biden, he didn't know what he was doing the past 4 years. And I don't want to make fun of his cognitive issues, but he was obviously not right for the last 4 years. And that's the guy that was running our country. Isn't that scary?
No, it's really scary. But I said this, even, I've studied the Bidens. I drive some people crazy. I'm like the Cliff Clavin at the bar in Cheers. Like I know every fact about that family. And what I compare that to yeah, you're from Belleville. I'm from Dumont originally. A lot of
Oh, I know
Irish.
Dumont. I
Yeah,
know Dumont.
yeah. So I'm from.
De Niro's Deli. You know De
Of
Niro's?
course, I used to get the number 3 there all the time. It was a great Italian sandwich. And
The
that's great.
cheesesteak sandwich was incredible there.
It's still there.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
about that family, they have a lot of Irish gangster in them. Believe me. Even if he was losing his mind, Joe Biden could be a real nasty guy. They ran their family like Irish Shylocks, and I don't mind saying it because I could back it up. I've read so much
Yeah,
about the family's
believe
history.
it.
But I'm going to move on because I want to before I let you go. I want to ask about your company because I see LT. He works in like an OJ, and this is to the Philly area. But even people, all the Eagles fans down here, LT was the best, one of if not the greatest linebacker ever. So what does he do for your organization?
So Lawrence Taylor and Otis Anderson, they business development. They basically open doors for us. So when we have clients come into the office, they come in, they sign autographs. We go to trade shows. We have a lot of clients going to these shows. So LT and OJ come to the shows with us. But listen, I'm probably one of the first companies to do it in the trade show industry. But I just figured, listen, local New York Giants, 2 legends. It's a differentiator. Most exhibit companies have nice designs, good customer service. You got to be different. I always teach my kids, you got to differentiate, and that's what we do. And when people find out Lawrence Taylor and always work for us, we're more apt to win business. We do a lot of entertaining. We do a lot of golf with clients.
Yeah.
And we recently added a current UFC fighter, Bo Nickel. He just joined our team. He's a UFC fighter, wrestling legend from Penn State.
Let me tell you, Phil, I got to let you go. But before I do, that is great marketing. That's how entrepreneurs get wealthy. Yep. Right there. They think out of the box. They work like anything. And don't think guys like Phil aren't paying their fair share of taxes. Your heads would probably explode what this guy has to do.
I pay my taxes. Trust me, Tom.
That's what I mean. What I'm saying is the amount you pay as an entrepreneur, and you're not some billionaire in New York. But I love your marketing.
No, I'm not.
It's Metro Exhibits. Phil builds all his stuff here in the United States. Phil, you're a great guest. You gave us great information. You have a great 4th of July. It was great having you.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me. Happy 4th, everyone.
You too. All right.